I'm really fucking mad today, and I've been thinking about some stuff that is kind of new to me. It's just a stream of thought that I've been in today. When somebody or something in your life is a burden to you, or they're getting in your fucking way, or they're just adding stress to your life, they're a negative variable in your fucking life, like my fucking uncle, it's too easy for us to be so mad. We make hard changes in our life. We do things, we accomplish things that otherwise we wouldn't have been motivated enough to do, because anger is an excellent motivator. You'll get so much done when you're angry or frustrated or fed up that you would never have the energy to do otherwise, because it's kind of like you feel like you're at rock bottom, like you have to do it, so you end up making massive changes. But it's too easy to give the credit to whoever or whatever was pissing you off to the point where you had to make changes. It's too easy to let them take the credit for it and then see them. I think people do this with their parents a lot. Or people give credit to a horrible ex or people give credit to just something or someone who was just fucking up their lives to the point where they had to make changes. Like at home, my uncle is always in the fucking kitchen every day. I already talk about this on my YouTube. I air him the fuck out. And I don't give a damn about privacy because I don't want him in my house in the first place. He's on the missing persons list. He just walked in the door after grandma died. He came here unannounced, and as soon as I saw him in the driveway, I ran inside and locked the doors because I didn't know why he was here. I thought he was coming to rape me or something. And then he let himself in. He waited outside and let himself in. He has no job, no clothes of his own, no car, no money, nothing. He contributes nothing. He just sits around in the house all day, and I guess he's just waiting to die. He's just going to try to wait as long as he can and take up space and take up energy. And he has an ex-wife and 2 children of his own that he abandoned, and he's a deadbeat father. He's just like, this is the most pathetic shit I've ever seen. And every fucking day when I need to go upstairs to make breakfast, he's in there doing nothing, just standing there twirling, like pacing around in the fucking way. I can't even drink water. I can't even eat anything. So, yeah, this has been so fucking annoying. And I think he molested me as a child, but I don't remember. He was always very creepy. And I have memories of when I was like 3, when I would be downstairs where he lived, my memory would just kind of go blank. I can't remember all of a sudden. And I would just enter a trance. And he threw my sister out of a chair when she was a child. And he's really fucking creepy. There's all kinds of stuff. It doesn't end there. But anyway, he's been such a burden. And I've been so disturbed. And all this, I've felt so unsafe. I've had to do things like get a job and lose a job and hurry up and get another job again when I've been in a very deep depression for a few years. I couldn't even get out of bed. I was bedridden. I have to leave the house all the time. I can't even eat or drink water in my own house anymore because he's always up there. And when I have food in my room, it runs out very quick. And I'm not going to live on fucking chocolate chips out of a bag or dried fruit. It's just a burden. And it's an energetic burden too, because I'm a psychic. I think everyone is kind of psychic, but when somebody is in your house, especially when they're not contributing anything and they're just taking up energy, they're just consuming energy, they're just making their energetic presence there all the fucking time, you feel them and they influence you. But anyway, I was thinking today, we need to stop giving credit to people who are being like villains in our lives or being enemies in our life, who are driving us to do things we wouldn't otherwise do. Like for me, I have I'm building an entire kitchen area in my room, and I'm getting my burners and my food processing stuff already, so I don't even have to go upstairs, but then I'm going to have to work more to have more money to afford food. It's just so fucking stressful. I can't give the credit to him for any of these massive changes I'm making that are starting really out of my bedroom. So they don't seem like they're a huge deal, but emotionally it is. And it's going to lead to a lot of things over time. I don't want to give the credit to him. I don't want to give the credit to my deadbeat father for me being the way I am now. And I think that a lot of the times we can sabotage ourselves really easily when we think that we have had certain achievements, or people who are burdens to us or enemies to us are the real motivators for our success. It'll actually lead us to self-sabotage, because it feels like if somebody is an enemy in your life and they motivate you to do something that's good for you or that's ultimately going to benefit you later, like spending all your time in the gym so you don't have to go home to your fucking family or your fucked up partner, or going to school and going as hard as you can at school and getting a great education and a great job because you don't want to be at home, or because you hate where you came from, or because of an enemy in your life, or whatever the fuck it is. It's too easy to think, I would never have done that if it wasn't for them. And then if you really hate them, you can sabotage yourself, and you'll not want to have high levels of success or make big changes or have like a lot of good stuff in your life come from that if you deep down believe that they are the reason why it happened, because then in the end you feel like you're going to end up giving all the credit to them and you're going to have to pay them back. I feel like I was channeling today people who are in wars with their parents, like my parents were, and like it's easy for me to be in a war with my parents. My brother's in a war with my father, and my cousins are in war with their parents. Everyone I know. I think a lot of the times we sabotage our success and we just want to have like barely scraping by. We don't like being motivated by people who piss us off if we feel like in the end we're going to have to give them credit and think that they're the reason why we did what we did. And we think we're going to have to glorify them or see them as good now. I think this is why I'm saying, if you're the one doing what you're doing and making the steps that you're making because somebody else is pissing you off and making your life unbearable, you're still the one who did it. You're still the one who gets all the credit in the end, because even if they were in your fucking head mind controlling you, they're still not the ones who get the credit for you doing what you did. And I also think that even if you look at human biology and biology of anything, everything is always seeking equilibrium. Everything is always trying to get back in a state of homeostasis. Life is hard enough, even if nothing was going on. It's already fucking hard enough to do things like be hydrated enough, go to the bathroom, breathe enough, keep your body in balance, get enough nutrients, get enough salt intake, get enough exercise. It's already fucking hard enough for us to be in balance as just organic beings. Anything or anyone that is coming in your life and making it a burden for you is not a good thing. Everything is already hard enough. It's more than hard enough. Life already fucking sucks for everyone. So when somebody comes in your life and makes everything worse, and then it drives you to make even bigger changes that ultimately end up making your life easier, because when you're in a state of there's a fucking thorn in your ass every goddamn day, you're always going to be out of homeostasis. So you are always going to be seeking ways to secure homeostasis and security and all that stuff. You're going to have to forcibly expand your horizons, and security is going to be your number one focus. So you're going to double down on that stuff. And then when that burden leaves, or you fight them off, and you end up in a better position than before, where you're more secure, more protected, you have more resources available to you, because your mind goes into overdrive, because you get like, you're starving for it, because there's a fucking pain in the ass every day in your life. When that burden goes away, when that person dies, when they get out, when you break up with whoever, whatever the fuck it is, you're going to be better off. But at the end of the day, you're still the one who did all the things that you did. You could have sat on your ass and did nothing. You could have. If you were committed to self-sabotage, you would be amazed how far we will go you could have been stubborn. You could have not done shit. You could have handled it a million different ways. And even though these thoughts just popped into my head today, I'm sure that people out there, it will benefit somebody to hear what I'm saying. I feel like the monologues that I make, if you're not already in the flow of understanding what I'm saying, it's not going to make any sense to you unless you're like in a situation where it will apply. Because I talk very intuitively. Yeah. Nobody wants to get up at 7 in the fucking morning and go to work. But if you have a screaming kid at home, or you have a pain in the ass partner, or you don't want to be at home, in my case, because your fucking uncle will come downstairs out of your sister's old room as if he's a girl, as if he's your sister, and as if he pays fucking rent, and he walks in the kitchen where everyone needs to be because there's food and water in there, and he just stands there. And he just stands there. Oh, I don't even speak to him. I haven't said a word to him since he moved in. And he just stands there all goddamn day. I can't even drink water. Then yeah, no one wants to get up at 7 in the fucking morning and leave their house. Nobody wants to go work earlier shifts so you can get breakfast along the way. No one wants to fucking do it. So anything that I build from this dumbass phase of life is still mine. He doesn't get any of the credit for it. He's just a burden in my fucking way, and I'm being creative with the ways that I choose to use it to motivate me, because if I just seethe in my room all day, I will end up in prison, because a sequence of steps will follow. So anything that I'm doing in my life as a result of any of the burdens that are in my life that I just have to work my way around, they don't get the credit for anything that I do. Isn't this kind of the same as like when people do shit and they're like, you'll thank me one day? They make your life temporarily harder. I still think you have every right to hate those people. I think it's emotionally invalidating when we try to give the credit to people who are our enemies. Because in reality, even if they were had a remote control in your head and were mind controlling you, if you still did the work to make things better for yourself in the long run, so you could like get over this hurdle, this fucking burden in your life, they still don't get the credit. Unless they're the one doing everything and then handing you the result of it, they don't get the credit of it. Just like dumbass Zach and everyone else who made me so emotionally messed up that I had to make music the way that I did a few years ago. And well, I guess like I haven't made a ton of music lately. He doesn't get the credit for my music because I could have pulled up to his house and handled my emotions that way, but I didn't. I channeled it into my music. I am the one who did it. I have to turn this thing off because I ate my vitamins and then drank some coffee without eating a lot. And I have a cayenne pepper and vitamin and a turmeric vitamin that is coming back up my throat. So I have to stop talking in a minute. But this is just something that's been on my mind today, because I was feeling like this could manifest in all different kinds of ways if you don't realize that you're responsible for your own success, even if the things that were motivating you were people who are your enemies. Because it's too easy to distort your own success and then sabotage yourself and say, I'm not going to aim as high. I'm not gonna strive for a whole lot because I don't want to have a bunch of success that I then have to give them the credit for. I don't want to. It's easy to sabotage yourself if you think in the end you're going to have to give the credit over to somebody who initially was abusing you or fucking with you or just being a fucking burden to you. This will make sense for someone. Like people like me who are homebodies. I'm a homebody because I have depression. I'm a homebody for all different kinds of reasons, and they're not pretty. I don't like being one, but I am because of all kinds of factors. There's times where if someone in my house is fucking with me and they're the reason why I don't want to be at home, so I go out and people are nice to me and I have good experiences out, it's too easy to convince myself like they get to take the credit for me meeting somebody or me getting a job and me having a client that I like. Because if it wasn't for them being a burden to me at home, I would never have left home. It's too easy to give my power away to people. Even I made my album Black Dahlia in December because I was miserable. It is a miserable album. I think it turned out pretty good. But the songs are about miserable things. I was fucking miserable, and it's the winter and it's the holidays and it's just, it sucks. I could have easily, I was dealing with clients that I really did not like because I had just started this job, so I didn't really have much of a choice which clients I took. I was just taking whoever, whatever, and testing things out. I really did not like quite a few of the clients that I was working with. They were making my life a pain in the ass because they were trying to exploit their power over me because they don't like having a relationship with someone where they're a client or they're disabled. So they want to fuck with me and make things harder than they have to be. And I needed money and things at home were miserable. Everything just sucked. There was very little comfort in my life and I felt like I was in existential oblivion. And I was in so much pain. I didn't have to make that album. I didn't have to. But I think I chose to, and I chose to make it so creative and so unique. Because if I would have channeled my pain into something that those people would have expected me to, like, I don't know, spending money on something. My album was basically free to make except for like $20 to buy the candles and the stands. I had everything else in my room for the album cover. If I would have channeled my fucking annoyance because of my clients into spending the money that I made on something, they probably would have influenced that, and they probably would have gotten to take the credit for anything I did because I was spending my money out of anger because I was angry. If I spent a whole lot of money on whatever, if I did something that was influenced by my family because they're fucking ruining my life, and I channeled that anger in a way that they would have wanted me to, like, I don't even know what they want. They want. And even if I did, they still wouldn't have gotten to take the credit for it. But back in December, I channeled all that misery and feeling of hopelessness. My mother probably would have wanted me to go back to therapy. She probably likes when things are hard, getting hard in my life, because she wants to force me back into therapy because she's hoping that a therapist is going to tell me I'm sick and blah, blah, blah. And then she can put me in a pipeline that Aunt Rosina put her children in so that she could ultimately control her children better because she's watching my aunt being able to control her daughter, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going back to one-on-one therapy. I think it's useless. If I channeled my emotional state into music. that no one else gets to take the credit for, and it's so unique. I've never heard anyone make music like mine before. And I uploaded it the day before my birthday, right around the holidays. It was so unique. But I'm not giving credit to anyone who influenced my life into being so miserable that I made an album like that. I'm the one who sang it. I'm the one who did all the poetry for it. A lot of it was freestyled, actually. And I did a lot of it in parking lots. Like, I did it in the hospital parking garage. I did Palate Cleanser in the hospital parking garage. I did the other ones in a gas station parking lot when I was in between clients, because there's like a 2-hour gap on Wednesdays. I did Dark Cherry in like 5 different places because it was difficult to get it to flow right, because the vocals and the piano, they're like complementary, but they don't flow in sync with each other, if that makes sense. I don't know. It would make sense if you make music. But yeah, no one else can take the credit for it. And I think with my music and stuff, the more I'm the one taking full credit for it, and I'm not giving the success of it or the creativity of it over to anyone else. I'm not giving credit to anyone who was putting me in the emotional state to where I would channel it like that creatively and make something amazing out of it. The more I'm not giving credit to anyone for it, the less greedy I feel. And then the more I welcome anyone. I welcome anyone who hears my stuff to have their own experience through it, to feel however they feel about it. It's just open. It's free. It's whoever needs to hear it will hear it, and they feel however they feel about it, not how I feel about it. I think if I was signed to a label, or if I was giving the credit to someone who was putting me in a miserable state to where I would make beautiful, miserable music, then I would feel very greedy. And one, I would probably not make it free. I'd probably be even more of a bitch online. I'd probably attack my audience. I would probably take hate a lot more seriously. I would probably do all kinds of stuff to try to control the music and whatever. But even if I am a bitch, even if I'm miserable and negative and I talk about stuff online all the time that's pissing me off and I have an attitude, it's not directed at the audience, and it's not personal against anyone who comes across my channel. Unless my uncle somehow has a fucking phone and he's on my channel, then it is directed at him. It's kind of just free. I'm basically talking to myself online, and whatever people feel or are inspired by, or whatever it brings up in them, that's them. I don't really control it. It's like, I want my channel to be a place of free expression and a safe place for people to feel however they feel. Even if I never meet them, even if I never talk to most of the people who come across my stuff online, I think the point of it is that as long as I'm getting to take credit for my stuff, that's why I have my own record label. As long as I'm getting to take credit for all my stuff, and this is something that's empowering for me and something that is self-directed, I feel like the audience has free reign to feel however they feel. And it's not going to be like I don't know. It's hard to put it into words, but I know what I mean. I feel like if I ever did sign to a label, there were people getting a share of everything I do and all that stuff. I feel like this is why independent artists who once held that delicate balance of being a bitch and being moody and being making really emotionally charged stuff and just being very deeply human, and they can still make things that are beautiful and still have a polite, like, connection with their audience, or really just keep things light. Once they get signed to a label and they have people controlling them and taking credit for their work and everything, I feel like that's when they go off the deep end, and that's when their fans start to hate them, and that's when they treat people terribly directly, and everything just becomes all messed up. I feel like artists can keep the delicate balance of all kinds of opposites and all kinds of things that seem to contradict each other, and keep them and balance, and everything works out when they get to be independent, when there's no one ruining that, and they get to take credit for everything. Anyway, this was all over the place because there's a lot that's been on my mind as usual. I'm sure people come across my stuff and I piss them the hell off because they take my stuff online seriously, like personally against them. And anything I motivated them to do. If I ever motivated somebody to make a song or to make an album of their own, or to speak honestly about what's going on there, like, because they were pissed off at me and they see me as an enemy, or they see me as somebody who is just a pain in their ass, I'm not taking the credit for it. I didn't control you to make something better or make something great in your life because I was a pain in your ass. That's still not mine. I'm not taking credit for anyone's good work or their success or whatever the hell, because I'm in a situation where if I give the credit to my dumbass uncle, I'll be so fucking mad. I'll drive my car into a fucking brick wall because it's so fucking frustrating. So there is a bit of a delicate balance with this. Yeah. And whoever needs to hear my monologues and stuff, I'm sure it will make sense to whoever needs to hear it, because I do talk as I go. And I'm sure that if it's not reaching somebody who's going through something in their life where my words will actually resonate with them, then I'm sure that everything I say on here makes no sense. And it just sounds like I'm talking about nothing or I'm just talking crazy. Yep.